So technically, this video was supposed to come out like a long time ago. And the problem was I just kept forgetting to sit down and actually cover Ultimate Universe 1 year in. And this takes place before some of the videos that we have done recently on the channel when it comes to the Ultimate Universe. And the reason why I kind of forgot about this book is because, well, I have been so focused on making X-Men content that I kind of forgot to cover some other things on the channel that you guys may like the Ultimate Universe. But don't worry, my goal is to fix that before we dive into the next big crossover for the Ultimate Universe. Now, with all that being said, we're going to pick up with Ultimate Universe 1 year in. We have to read this book right here to get a better idea of Nick Fury, but also get our first look at Ultimate Wolverine. And I kind of like this book a lot because it really does now focus more on what's happening behind the scenes when it comes to the Maker's Council. Because remember, the Maker is currently locked away. And so with him being locked away, is now his council in charge of the entire world. And so what is that like? But also, is there a shield in this reality? Now, technically, yes, but a different type of name. You'll see what I mean here in a moment. But as we dive into the opening pages of the storyline, we pick up with a guy known as Keith Kincaid. Now for Keith, he's a regular guy, and it does seem like he is a good person with a clean record. But here's the problem. He has been labeled as a terrorist, and here's the reason why. Because he believes in the Ultimates, and he said it out loud. And so with him saying that, it really shows that the entire world is being watched no matter what. And so you have to be careful in what you say, because if you say the wrong thing, just like that, you are quickly labeled as a terrorist. And so then out of nowhere, he is struck by lightning and dead just like that. And we kind of find out that lightning bolt came from, well, the helicarrier, or technically they call it the Beast. And here's the thing, because this whole huge helicarrier belongs to a brand new organization in this reality. No, it's not S.H.I.E.L.D., but they kind of work like S.H.I.E.L.D., and that would be the H.A.N.D. Now, the H.A.N.D. stands for Heroic Anomaly Neutralization Directorate. Their main goal is to go around the world to take out different terrorists like Keith to make sure the world is quote unquote safe, but to make sure the people still fall in line with the way the Maker had made the world. And so this is the Maker saying, I'm going to make sure that this world is perfect in my own image. Even if I'm no longer around, my council should be able to carry things on for me. Now, here's the thing, because this organization is being led by Nick Fury. Now, in this reality, we kind of tell right off the bat there's something going on with Nick. And the reason why, because for Nick, a character like him, you would not believe in the possibility that he will work for a character like the Maker. But the thing is Nick kind of realizing the moves he made so far are completely wrong. Because back in the old days, for Nick, he knew what was right and what was wrong. He knew black and white. He knew how to make sure it's on the right side of things. But lately, he kind of realized that he's now on the wrong side of things by working for the Maker. Now, for Nick, he's talking to us, or really somebody else, and telling us that he's kind of hoping that he'll be able to achieve some kind of goal before his time is officially up. And so we kind of get the idea that he's plotting to do something big, which of course means he's going to die very soon. But either way, he does go into a meeting with the Maker's Council. Now, I kind of like this book a lot because with this book, if you're just getting into the Ultimate Marvel universe and you want a better understanding of the different members of the Maker's Council, this book right here can achieve that goal for you. Now, here's the thing, because I'm not going to sit down and try to explain about each member of the council. My main goal right now is to focus on Nick Fury. And here's the reason why, because you have Nick explain to the council like what him and the H.A.N.D. are trying to achieve at the moment, which is trying to paint a bad image of the Ultimates when it comes to the public, because you have more and more people right now beginning to believe that the Ultimates, maybe the good guys in the council, are the bad guys. And that right there could cause more issues down the road for the Maker and the council. And so for Nick, he has been using different forms of media as a way to say, look, here's the Ultimates, and here are all the different reasons why they are truly bad for the entire world. But technically, what they're sharing is not the truth at all. Now, for Nick, he also explains that they're having a hard time trying to figure out which next person is going to be recruited by the Ultimates in their network. Because remember, for Tony Stark, he found out that this world was supposed to be full of different types of superheroes. But thanks to the Maker, that did not happen at all. And so because of that, you have Tony Stark right now trying to reverse that, to find all of those different people out there to give them the ability to be the heroes they were supposed to be. And so for Nick, he's having a hard time right now cracking that network to figure out which person is going to be next to be recruited by the Ultimates. Now, this kind of leads into the Maker's Council saying like, oh, well, you don't have anything at all worthwhile for us to stay here for, so we're going to go ahead and just leave. Now, for Nick, he believes he does, and he tells him like, hey, don't leave just yet, because I do have one more thing to share with you guys. You see, for Nick, he has spies across the world in different territories that belongs to different members of the Maker's Council, and here's the reason why, because he believes that one of those recruits or spies might be recruited by the Ultimates, and then he'll have somebody on the inside when it comes to the Ultimates. And that right there is kind of important, but also you have the Hulk get very upset because none of the Maker's Council knew about this at all. And for the Hulk, he hates the idea there's a spy in his territory without Nick actually telling him about that spy. And so you have Nick say, listen, I had to play it safe because I want to make sure that my spies are well protected. Now, it's also Nick telling us that apparently there's somebody on the Ultimates team right now that is actually a traitor. Now, we're not told who just yet, but we get the idea that sooner or later that person might bring down the entire team. And so this kind of leads into the ending of the first storyline in this book, because for Nick Fury, like I said earlier, the dude is tired of working for the Maker. He's tired of working for the Maker's Council. So his main goal is to kill off the entire council in one single moment. And he says, okay, begin the self-destruct sequence. There's a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But then there's nothing. And the reason why, because we kind of find out Nick has been played. Let me explain. See, for Nick Fury, he believed that he had his own body in mind, that he believed that his mind was safe to think about how he felt about the Maker and the Maker's Council. But you have the council reveal that they knew every single thing that he was thinking. And they knew that sooner or later he would try to kill them off. And here is the reason why. Because Nick Fury is technically a clone. You see, you didn't have the Maker's Council go ahead and kill off Nick Fury just like that. He dies in an instant. And so as we dive into the last few pages of the first storyline, we kind of find out that every single time they have a Nick Fury that decides to break away and tries to move on his own to take down the Maker in the council, they kill him off and bring in a brand new Nick Fury. That technically they have a whole room full of Nick Fury clones to use to help run this organization, to continue his work to study and figure out about the Ultimates. And so we're left to wonder, is there even one Nick Fury technically alive? Or the entire time this reality has just been clones being used by the Maker? And the second story is really more about, well, Ultimate Wolverine. And can I say I kind of love this a lot because it's the whole idea of the maker making sure that things ran smoothly, or he thought it was. Because for the maker, he can't watch the entire world all the time. Let me explain. So when it came to the maker, he wanted to make sure that all the mutants were in one location. And so, of course, he put all the mutants over in Russia, or Eurasia, sorry. And when it came to Eurasia, it was being led by Colossus, Magic, and also Omega Red. Now, the maker believed that everything was going smooth with those three in charge. But in reality, you had those three take their own kind of people and turn them into tools or weapons to be used against their enemies. And so in that territory, you do have some people, humans and mutants, trying to fight back. And so what happened was a special type of weapon was created to handle those people who are trying to fight against, well, their leaders. And so you had this reality's version of Weapon X, but by a different name, and they had found Logan. Now, originally, Logan was called Logan, but then they began to call him a specimen. And then after that, they began to call him the Winter Soldier. And their main goal is to use him as a way to take down different targets who are trying to fight against their leaders, Colossus, Magic, and also Omega Red. And this leads into the Wolverine solo series in the Ultimate Marvel Universe. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.